My Aunt Otilia's Spirits, written by Richard Garcia, illustrated by Robin Charon and Roger I. Reyes, translated into Spanish by Jesus Guerrero Ria. When I was a boy, my Aunt Otilia would visit us every summer. Her home was on an island of Puerto Rico. She was tall, skinny, never smiled, and wore a big hat. Because there was little room in our house, Aunt Otilia used to share my bed. And every night, just before I went to sleep, we would hear a knocking on the wall. 3 times, and then the bed would begin to shake like there was an earthquake. "What's that?" I would cry out, with my eyes growing wide. "Oh, that's nothing," my Aunt Otilia would say. "It's just my spirits. Go to sleep, demonio," which was her pet name for me and meant devil. When she would say that, I would fall asleep, still holding her skinny hand. But just before I fell asleep, I would hear a loud crash, like a pile of spoons falling, and I would hear her voice in the distance. "Go to sleep. Only my spirits. Go to sleep, demonio." Well, I began to wonder about my Aunt Otilia, and one night I put chewing gum in my ears, hoping that if I didn't hear her voice, I could stay awake and see what all the noise was. That night, everything happened as usual. 3 knocks, the bed shook, and I pretended to sleep. Suddenly I heard the rattling noise, and to my astonishment, I saw my Aunt Otilia's bones lift right out of her body, float through the air, and fly right through the window, although it was closed. And her body stayed asleep in bed, although without its bones. It was all separate, like a puzzle. Well, my teeth were chattering, my hair stood up, and my skin was white. I looked at my feet and said, "Feet, get ready to move." I jumped out of bed so fast that I knocked the pieces of Aunt Otilia's body onto the floor. She was still my aunt, after all, and although I was shaking, I tried to put her pieces back in order. But I got her head where her feet should be, and her arms where her legs should be, and vice versa. Just then I heard her voice. "Oh, you bad boy. Put my pieces back right." Her bones were floating outside the window, and I was too frightened to move. The sun was coming up and her bones were fading away. Her voice was getting farther away. Her pieces were fading away. Her suitcases were fading away, and she was gone in the morning like a bad dream. I really caught a spanking for chasing my Aunt Otilia away, but a month later we got a postcard from Puerto Rico. Aunt Otilia said she enjoyed her visit and was fine, although she felt a little mixed up. She also said she wouldn't be able to visit us again. I was glad.